Hi everyone, Tony with Villa Property Inspections. Today we're doing a home inspection of this beautiful house behind me. What we're going to do is we're going to go through from the roof all the way down to the foundation and everything in between. We're going to check the roofing, the heating and air conditioning, the plumbing, the electrical system, the foundation. There's a pool in the back also and a guest house, and we're going to check that out as well.
Okay, starting with the roof, I did take the drone up in the air to get up over here and take a look at all the penetrations, anything that goes up through the roof, all the valleys where everything joins, all your wall junctions and everything up there. It looks like the roof material does have about moderate granular loss there, so it's about halfway through its life. In certain areas, it will require some periodic maintenance around the skylights and around the other penetrations. There's actually some flashings that are missing on some of those penetrations up there as well. So I would recommend having a roofing contractor come in and evaluate that and see if there are some further repairs that need to occur. Also over here on your eaves and fascia, you'll see how there's paint that's starting to flake. That's going to be your first moisture barrier. So as soon as that starts flaking, it makes the wood a little bit more susceptible to rot and moisture damage. So I would recommend applying a fresh coat of paint on there. And then you'll see photos in the report of these junctions and the areas that require maintenance periodically.
So the pool system. The pool system is a concrete pool. The plaster on the pool surface right now has some moderate deterioration. You're going to see a lot of photos that we took in the report. The chemicals in the water are off balance right now. So I took a test of the water, and you'll see pictures of the results in the report as well. And typically, that's what tends to lead to the deterioration in the pool walls, is that when it's unbalanced, the water tries to find its balance, the chemical levels, and it leaches calcium off the plaster, and that's what deteriorates the plaster here. The pool equipment inside the storage closet right there is in good shape. A couple minor things. The motor needs an electrical bonding wire for safety. The heater is installed inside an enclosed structure, and that's not allowed, because when you turn it on, all of those combustion gases from the burners fill up that room with carbon monoxide right away. So the heater, I'm going to recommend that the heater be placed outside, not inside. The filtration system is in good shape. The drain cover looks good. All the rest of the pool equipment looks good. Now, having said that, the room where the pool equipment is located, there's significant amounts of moisture penetration from the outside along the bottoms of the wall. Up that penetration, that orange thing you see above the roof right there is a penetration to the roof. There's a good amount of moisture on the ceiling, and there's what we call visible apparent mold. There's black staining on the ceiling, black staining on the walls along the bottom. Now, the only way to actually confirm that it's mold is with lab analysis, but given the amount of staining there, I would definitely have somebody take a look at that. Okay, so this is the guest house, the pool house. Let me take you inside.
I'd like to be on this side of the camera.
So, in the pool house here, floors, walls, everything looks good. The plumbing at the kitchen area, everything worked fine. There's just one burner on the range that didn't operate, which was this one here in the back. Everything else here works fine. No signs of any plumbing leaks. The electrical GFCI operates fine. What I couldn't do, unfortunately, was get the air conditioning system to drop the temperature. And you'll see the photos of the laser thermometer after we operated, and it just didn't drop the temperature properly the whole time that we were here. So I am going to recommend somebody take a look at that, make sure that everything is okay. In the bathroom, everything looked fine in the bathroom. All the plumbing. We ran water in every single one of the fixtures here, flushed the toilet, checked the electrical, the fan, everything is in good shape. Okay, here in the garage, the first thing you're going to notice is that there's some cracking along the floor right here. Now, unfortunately, I can't see the other side of this wall because it's in the neighbor's yard, but given the amount of cracking right here, it looks like the garage has settled on this side here. On the opposite side of this wall, we have concrete right here and a little planter area here. So it's not too much of an issue with moisture causing settlement here as much as it is on this side. However, along the bottom of these walls here, you notice that there's a frame that's built right here. This is a wooden frame. but there's a lot of moisture staining along the bottom, all the way across this wall right here, where moisture has gotten through. So that's an area of concern. The other thing is that this wall right here where the plumbing is for the guest house right there does not have a fire separation. So this hole becomes a breach in the fire separation. That plastic panel right there would burn right off in case of a fire in the garage, and the flames will spread up that wall. So what I recommend is a simple thing, is putting a metal panel cover right there. And they're ready and accessible at Home Depot. They don't cost a lot. You can put one right there and maintain the plumbing access right here. The other thing you have going on in the garage here is that you have an attic space. There's no access to the attic space, and there's no ventilation. Okay, your crawl space and your foundation. This is one of two entrances for the crawl space here. As you can see, there are bushes all in front of it, which shouldn't be there, so you can have adequate access to the underside right here. However, even when you go in through here, there's very, very limited access because there's another foundation wall built right in front of it. When the renovation happened and the addition happened to the house, there's another crawl space entrance in one of the bedrooms in the closet. It's a very small opening. The foundation walls are concrete all the way around. In the middle of the house, there's two concrete walls that run right in the middle this way. So the foundation is separated in three sections. This middle section right here has very, very little ventilation in there. You can feel the humidity. There's no airflow in there. There's a good amount of moisture on the soil. Plumbing wise, plumbing looks good all the way around. There are a couple of wet areas, but no evidence of any active leaks. There is a lot of exposed electrical wiring that is not inside a junction box. Some of it is laying on the dirt directly. What else do we have here? Oh, whoever the plumber was needed to get a drain line into the bathroom, so they notched off an entire floor joist to put the drain line in there. So again, I have photographs of all of this for the report. You'll see photographs in all of it. And one last thing, on this third of the foundation, the soil is visibly wet all the way across the foundation. There's also a good amount of fungal growth on the top level of the soil, and I've got photos of that. What happened there is that you have these ventilation openings, and I can show you what I'm talking about. You have these ventilation openings here, which are right at the level of the soil. So water tends to get in from there. And this entire section underneath this bedroom right here, you'll see the photographs in the report. The soil is visibly wet. The backside of that third right there has a good amount of fungus growth all over the top of the soil. Other than that, structurally speaking, the foundation looks good. Everything is bolted down. No signs of termite damage or rot damage or anything like that. No signs of any rats or rodents or anything like that.
Okay, starting with the exterior of the home, you do have your shutoff as well as a pressure regulator here, and this is the supply lines that come in from the meter over there. The water pressure is a little high, but you do have a regulator right here to control that. Generally, that's to get extra water pressure up to your second floor for the bathroom up there. I operated many fixtures simultaneously, didn't see any pressure drops, so everything looked good with that. Sprinkler system is right here. It's mostly a drip system that's set up here in the front yard. I did operate it. Everything was working the way that it should. Now for the interior, we'll start here with the kitchen. There is a little bit of staining or rusting right here in the dishwasher back here. And then there wasn't any power to this, so I wasn't able to operate that. And then also over here on the range, it does not seem to be igniting. You can hear it, the igniter going off, but I don't hear any gas coming through. And then I tried to also do this, to see if there was anything going on here. And these aren't labeled, so I'm not sure which one's there, but I would recommend further evaluation by an appliance technician in regards to the dishwasher as well as the range. Now the microwave, the oven, everything else looked fine there, so that's it for the appliances here in the kitchen. Now for the Heating and air conditioning, did operate the heater. Everything was good with that. I would recommend replacing the air filter in there. At least every time you change your clocks, just go ahead and replace that filter. Easy way to remind yourself. Now, when we did operate the AC unit, there was quite a bit of condensation that was accumulating at the evaporator right there in the attic, and then it was actually leaking right here in the living room. And when I went up in the attic, generally you would have a condensate line as well as a drip pan. So if there are any spills, it would be able to capture those. And I didn't see either of those installed. So I would recommend having an HVAC contractor go up there, take a look, and install a condensate line as well as a drip pan and find out what's going
That
on with
is
that.
the moisture in that area.
So I wanted to point out just a couple of things here on the balcony. Structurally, it looks like it's in pretty good shape, but there are junctions right here that do have some cracks, and I'd recommend getting these sealed up so that you don't have any moisture penetration underneath it or into the structure, and then also applying fresh coats of paint where you see up here that it's starting to flake.
Okay, so the final thing about the crawl space that I forgot to mention is that when the house was added onto, the concrete contractor that poured the concrete for all of the structural aspects of the new portion of the house, they built a wooden frame basically for the concrete to be poured. When that concrete is poured and dries, that wooden frame is required to be removed. None of the wooden frames, what we call the forms, down there have been removed. All the way across the bottom of the house, they left them in place. The reason that's important is because those wood forms go all the way down to the soil. And so it tends to attract termites, and termites will eat their way up through the wood and then get into the framing of the rest of the house. So that's why it is a requirement. They're supposed to remove them. And I took a lot of photographs, so you're going to see all of those photographs in the report.
Perfect.